Warning. This is not a safe space. Leave your bullshit and feelings at the door.
Today on the Man Cave.
Wait, hold on just a second. Did you just say man?
I did.
I'd prefer it if you referred to it as the People Cave. Thank you very much.
Fuck you.
It's time for the most raw and unfiltered experience on the internet. So kick your feet up and grab a cold one. You have just entered the Man Cave. And now, here they are, winners of the self-proclaimed International Greatest Men Alive Award, Brad and Terry.
Thanks for joining us here in the Man Cave. I'm Brad.
It's the People Cave. Use the politically correct term, please.
Okay, sorry, let me start again. Thanks for joining us here in the fucking Man Cave. I am Brad.
And I'm Terry.
Hey, make sure to check us out online over on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and listen to us on iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, Stitcher, Spotify, and YouTube. But if you want that full, no bullshit experience and the ability to win prizes, you're going to have to subscribe to us over on Patreon. We'll talk about that here in a minute.
Okay, we gotta talk about this beer.
Okay,
like, we have to address this right now.
Let's start with what we got, right? So I went all out today. Got a little local, you could call it kind of like a liquor store, package store up the road that I usually kind of go buy my the different beers at that we got that's local. And so today we have, it's by the Lost Abbey. It's the Dead Man's Game Oak Age Blended Ale. Because I wanted to try these new, oak-aged beers, right?
So this
it's brewed in, let's give them full credit, San Marcos, California.
So by oak-aged, what does that mean?
It's aged in an oak barrel.
Is it like, because I've heard of these beers that are being aged in like the old like whiskey barrels. So that's what this is.
Yep.
And let me tell you,
first off, yeah, go ahead. Yeah, you opened it.
I opened this thing, and it just smelled like a strong mixed drink.
It is 14% alcohol.
Yeah, and it tastes like a strong mixed drink, but that doesn't mean it's good. I drank about half of this thing, and I had to put it down and just throw a dip in to have something else in my mouth.
Yeah, it's 14% alcohol, so it's not your daddy's Bud Light.
I gotta drive home, man.
Yeah, it's not a 6% beer. It'll put you on your ass, but it's different, right? If you've never tried a beer aged in an oak barrel, it's definitely a different taste, to what you would normally have for a beer.
I can appreciate it for what it is. It's not something that I would want to drink often, but I don't think it's something anybody would really want to drink often.
No, I could not imagine hey, let's go. Well, first off, there's a couple reasons I couldn't drink it often. Could not imagine going out at night on the town trying to pound that down.
No.
And also, it's oak aged, so they're very, very small batches of beer, and they're about $17 a bottle.
I do want to talk about something I did try. It was I went to a barbecue at a friend's house this past weekend, and I tried something I'd never seen before. It was a whiskey by the company named Screwball, and it was a peanut butter whiskey.
What?
Now, I had never heard of that before. I know that there's all these different, flavorings of liquors and all that, right? But in terms of whiskey, you don't really see too much of that often. Usually you get a whiskey and you judge it off its whiskey, right? Like it's, but this was a peanut butter flavored whiskey. And I was very skeptical, but I took a shot of it, and I'm not kidding you, man. Shit tasted just like a Reese's peanut butter cup.
Ooh, we're gonna have to maybe have a whiskey night here on the man.
Maybe we'll do it for a New Year's episode. We'll because everybody gets hammered on New Year's, and we could just do the same and drink a whole bunch of different whiskeys. I like it. We'll get some nice cigars to bring in the new year.
Sounds like a plan.
That sounds like a good time. Yeah, but the peanut butter whiskey was good, but I once again, it's not something that you want to drink. It's not like you can keep a bottle of it in your house, and just drink it every night.
Not to sip on.
Yeah.
It's not a sipping whiskey.
It's one of those things, we were having a barbecue, it was there, it's a cool party thing to be like, hey, try this peanut butter whiskey. But, anyway, let's address what we started talking about at the beginning, and that's this whole political correctness thing.
Oh, yeah.
And I want you to start because you have a real-life example of something that you wanted to bring up on this matter.
Yes, so it was a few days ago. I'd messaged this to you, and I believe it infuriated you when I sent it to you.
It did. I was done. I love you, but I did not want to talk to you afterwards. I really didn't.
I didn't know it would. I didn't know it would trigger you in such a way.
I would say I was a bit triggered. I was actually, but just continue. When they hear what it is, they'll understand.
Yeah. So I came across an article, and here's the headline, right? Forever 21 apologizes for using white man to model Black Panther inspired sweater. So now my question is, my first question was, why does it matter? Why does it matter? Because I'm white.
So am I.
Okay. So in my whiteness, all I can think of is, well, who fucking cares?
Right.
Who cares what the color of the man who's wearing a Wakanda... It's a Wakanda Forever sweatshirt, and let me tell you, it's ugly as sin. It is the most ugly... It has to be for an ugly sweater contest, because that's the only way. It's purple, gold, red, with like polka dots on it, kind of a gold Black Panther face on it.
I think we've skipped a crucial part of this.
Okay.
Because we went right from Forever 21 apologizing for something, but... Why was it offensive in the first place? Because a white person was wearing it?
A white person was wearing it.
But why is that offensive? Why is the fact that it's a white person wearing it offensive is the question.
Have you not seen the movie?
I have seen the movie Black Panther.
It's because, come on, Terry. Black Panther's black, and everybody in Wakanda is black.
Do you know how many black people I've seen wearing Iron Man and Captain America shirts?
Right.
Is that the route or is this just one-way racism? Is that how it works?
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, I guess you can only be green to wear a Hulk shirt.
Right.
I'm appropriating Hulk culture.
Well, Hulk's white half the time. Okay. And right now, Bruce Banner and Hulk are kind of fighting. So I'd say he's white.
But my shaker bottle is green.
Right.
Do you think that's like a Hulk cultural appropriation?
Oh, man.
But my biggest problem with it is I look at Black Panther people. Black Panther is a fictional character.
Yes.
It's fake. It's made up. It's a comic book.
Mm-hmm.
If you haven't noticed, all these Marvel movies are all based on comic book characters.
They are.
The land of Wakanda doesn't exist. It's not real.
No.
It'll lead into another topic that comes after this about talking about something and having controversy about it when it's not real. But that's my biggest problem. It's not real. Why does it matter? Why does it matter who it is? I would just let you know, the fucking sweater is ugly as shit. I don't know who was even buying this thing.
Yeah.
You couldn't put the hottest model wearing this thing. It's still not going to sell this sweater. It's hideous.
Well, that's just your white opinion.
It's very true.
Yeah.
I'm not hip to the new culture of terror. I remember when ugly sweaters were actually like the ugly sweaters.
Is it supposed to be an ugly sweater?
I don't know. You tell me. That thing looks like
Hold on.
It's a winner from somebody trying to win an ugly sweater contest.
That's an ugly sweater. It's designed to be an ugly sweater.
It's a hybrid for ugly sweater and Black Panther together.
I don't understand why that picture, why that would offend people.
It offends them because he's white. The color of his skin offends them.
Do they not understand how that in itself is racist?
Probably not. Wait, you're saying if you judge somebody based on the color of their skin, that
is the very definition.
What? No.
Yes, and it goes both ways.
No.
Yes.
No way.
It does, and I have a...
You are being politically incorrect by saying that.
Am I? Well, let me talk to you about some political incorrectness and how a good personal example of how racism goes both ways. So when I went to college, I did not get good enough grades to get a scholarship into college. I did not do well in high school. But I went to the local community college, applied for every scholarship and grant that they had. One got back to me. I'm going to leave all names of programs and colleges out of this. But the one that got back to me brought me in for a face-to-face interview. That's very important, that they brought me in and sat me down and looked me in the face. And they gave me the scholarship after the interview. And this was 100% scholarship. It's like
full ride.
Yeah, full ride. It was to a community college, but still, 100% of my tuition and books paid for. It was like a second chance scholarship. Mm-hmm. There were a couple catches involved. I'd do some community service, no problem. I was coaching football at my old high school. That counted. But I also had to attend a meeting every week where everybody in this program would be in attendance, and the president of the program would talk to all the students, see how we're doing. Mm-hmm. And all of my Common Core classes, so my math, my English, all that, would be populated with students in this program. Now, everything was great until this first meeting came along. And it's in one of these big auditorium-style classrooms. I show up, and I'm a little late because my class is on the other side of campus. And I get there, I walk in, everybody turns around and looks at me, you know, when the door opens and something like there's a lesson going on. Everybody looks like, who the fuck just walked in, right?
Yeah.
And they all look at me, and they give me this look. Every last one of them, like 500 of them, give me this look of, you're in the wrong place. And I thought I was in the wrong place. But I look down, I see the president of the program down there, like, oh, this is exactly where I'm supposed to be. Mm-hmm. And then I sat down in the back of the classroom, and I start looking around, and everybody's black. And I was like, what is this, right? And then the president of the program starts talking about how, you know, as African Americans, you're already at a disadvantage when it comes to being in college, and as African Americans, this and that. And I'm like, I'm very confused at this point because I am obviously not an African American. Mm-hmm. So I go home and I do some research, which I had not done before I enrolled in this program because I was an idiot. And turns out this was a African American scholarship. And the reason I got it is because in most states it is illegal for a scholarship program to be racially exclusive. So I was a token white guy for this scholarship program. But what really sets this whole thing in motion with what we're talking about is once the other students figure this out, what do you think their reaction was to it? They hated me.
Yeah.
And they told me to my face that they thought I was taking an opportunity away from another black guy. How do you think that made me feel walking into class that's populated by people in this program?
Yeah.
And then it came to the point where I was bullied in some classes to the point of I didn't even show up to classes. I couldn't drop them. I have a scholarship, but I end up failing them. I'm not showing up. Why do I want to show up when I'm just getting chastised all day? You know, my car was vandalized because of the color of my skin. I'm a white guy.
Most people would classify doing things like that based on racial motivations a hate crime.
Right.
Those are hate crimes. If you're going to violate somebody's private property, totally racially motivated by the color of their skin, that is a hate crime.
Now, this episode is not a race-oriented thing, but what my story proves is that racism does work both ways. And I think that we can put this whole Black Panther thing to rest, and that it's completely ridiculous that it was offensive to some people because a white guy was wearing the sweater. Because racism works both ways. It's not a one-way street. And when you judge anybody or any group of people off of the color of their skin, it's racism. I don't care what you look like. I don't care what they look like. It's racism. I hate it from all sides.
Absolutely. Squashed. Time to move on. Now let's talk about 8 ways that you yourself may be politically incorrect. I'm politically incorrect in almost anything I'm willing to do on a daily basis.
Now,
I would bear to say, since we have this podcast going, this is politically incorrect to a lot of people.
I would say so, but I think the term politically incorrect has been misconstrued a bit, into if you speak your feelings, you're just being politically incorrect or you're being offensive.
Yeah, insensitive.
Right.
A lot of times, if you tell someone how you truly feel, which we've talked about,
We have.
I think it was one of the first episodes we had talked about having people around you who tell you the cold, hard truth, the things you don't want to hear, and those are the people you should be surrounding yourself with.
Right.
People who are telling you honest opinions of you and how they feel, because that's how you're going to get better.
Right. And I'm going to go down this list that I found from it's from a very amateur journalism website. Like it's not from the Washington Post or any credible place like this, right? It's very amateur journalism, but they compiled a list of 8 ways you may be politically incorrect, and
It's somebody's opinion.
it's somebody's opinion, and I guarantee you a lot of I don't want to call them snowflakes, but
Well, we're doing it because today we're just being politically incorrect.
a lot of snowflakes would agree that all these things are very politically incorrect. So
Yeah.
in no particular order, I'm going to go over these, some very briefly, and then others we'll kind of dive into.
Okay.
The first one is acknowledging race, which we've already talked about.
Wait. So acknowledging race
Is politically
is
incorrect.
politically that I acknowledge that someone is black
That
or
is-
Hispanic.
That is politically incorrect. And
What?
And in that, acknowledging their gender or sexuality is politically incorrect.
Well, here's my problem with not acknowledging race, because you're going to tell me on one hand that if I acknowledge your race, that I could, that I'm not being inclusive of everybody, right? I only see you by the color of
So
your skin.
there's a quick blurb about it, and what they're trying to convey with this is you're referring to one person, and you see them as black, right, or gay, or a woman, and because they did something, you now associate the rest of the female gender as that.
Okay,
right?
here's my problem.
Yeah.
If I see you, you're telling me I can't see you as that. But on the other hand, you're going to tell me I have to allow you to identify with things like black culture.
Right.
You cannot have it both ways.
Right.
Either black culture exists, or I don't see you as being black, therefore black culture doesn't exist because I don't even see you as being black.
No.
You cannot have it both ways.
Right, and I think that some of these are definitely very, very
Stupid.
well. Yeah, most of them are stupid, but like especially this one, I think a lot of people who do say that some things are politically correct, however you want to say it, would probably disagree with this one.
Okay, yeah.
I would say this one is on the lower end of political incorrectness because a lot of people are proud of what they are, and I don't.
Yeah, that's
So
a dumb one.
yeah, we'll move on.
Whoever wrote this, that's dumb.
Well, there's some other dumb ones in here, like this next
Probably
one
all of them.
of acknowledging assistive devices such as a wheelchair or a cane or a hearing aid, and I think. I don't get it. How is that politically incorrect?
Society has acknowledged them because now we have regulations for buildings that have to be built to be handicap accessible.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
No,
I mean,
everywhere you park, there's big blue spaces for them to park. If this is the case that we should not recognize it, paint them over, make them regular parking spots.
But I don't think they should do that at all.
I don't at all either.
I mean, you want some guy parking in the back of the parking lot when he has to walk with a cane?
I don't identify that you are having an assisted device to help you walk, sir.
Yeah, it's fucked up. I think it's politically incorrect to say that acknowledging assistive devices is politically incorrect. Moving on.
Stupid.
Next one, it is politically incorrect to say Merry Christmas. We have heard this many times.
God.
It's been a hot topic around Christmas time every year, and I think it's fucking stupid.
Here's the problem. 80% of Americans, regardless of religion, right? Mm-hmm. You're going to tell me every atheist or agnostic person here does not put up a Christmas tree and put presents under that motherfucker.
Right.
80% of Americans celebrate Christmas.
Yeah.
You should not be offended by saying it. And you know what? I guarantee you walk around and just, even by the slip of a tongue, you tell someone, say, who's Jewish does not celebrate Christmas. They celebrate Hanukkah. If you tell that person Merry Christmas, you know what they're going to say? Thank you.
Yeah.
They're not going to be offended by it.
No.
Or they'll just say, hey, you know what, I don't celebrate Christmas. But they're not going to go running to the media and cry and piss and moan that you said Merry Christmas.
Right.
The people who are doing it are the people who are the agnostic or the atheist who are like, oh, I'm offended by it, and I can't stand it. But you know what? They still put fucking presents under a Christmas tree.
The people that are offended by that are the people that walk around looking to be offended by any little thing.
Yes. We addressed it, again, beginning of the podcast, about being offended is a mindset.
Right. Okay, next one.
Moving on. Another dumb one.
All right. And cock back, shoot. This one's all you. Using unpaid internships to get free labor.
We'll make this one quick because this will be a boring one to anybody pretty much except for me. Yeah, you know what? I have two words for you. Economic words. You ready for it?
Uh-huh.
Human capital.
Okay.
That is what you're gaining by an unpaid internship. You're gaining human capital. Mm-hmm. You're gaining skills.
Right.
That you take on to earn money with. Shut the fuck up. You're earning human capital.
I don't see how it's politically incorrect. I can understand how it would suck to take an unpaid internship.
Do you tell that to people who actually go do them, and they learn great human capital, and you make great connections with people in premier places. Dumb.
I'm not saying that it. I understand your
Don't
point.
Don't trigger me like that again.
Sorry.
Don't now stop apologizing. You don't have to be an apologist.
Yes, sir. Did I offend you by calling you sir?
A little bit.
Anyway, next one. Hedging your unpopular opinions. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
What do they mean by
hedging? I'll read the little blurb. If you're going to make a claim about someone else's beliefs or practices, make it and stand by it. Of course, it's best if you can support your statement with facts and logic. If you can't, be prepared to be humbled by those who can. But if you're going to dismiss or cut down someone else's ideas, don't try to cover with the "I'm only joking" line. If you aren't willing to back it up with facts and conviction, don't say it in the first place.
I'm confused.
Okay,
I am all for everything you just said. I agree with.
So here's the best part. Okay. Here's the best part. The very next thing that is politically incorrect for you to do is use demographics or statistics to pigeonhole your colleagues, employees, or customers.
How do you?
You're checkmated, man.
If you defend yourself with facts, then you are standing for what you believe in, and not.
But if you use those facts, you're being politically incorrect. You know what?
I was just joking. I was just joking.
No one can speak anymore. Okay,
shut up and go sit in the corner and color.
Yeah, play on your phone. You know, it's over. So, oh my God. Okay. The next two.
The double entendre that you're in.
Here's the next one. Asking a minority to speak for everyone in their group. And I think we touched on this a little bit with the first one. It's kind of the same point with the first one where, you know, you're one person of a certain race or gender does something and you immeyly just identify the rest of that race or gender with what they did.
Yeah, I mean, I can kind of understand that one because what they usually you would say, anecdotal evidence is not evidence. Just the evidence of one thing happening with one person is not the evidence that it is a pervasive thing happening in society.
Right.
So I mean, like, am I offended if somebody does that though? No. I've literally told people, you cannot offend me.
Because you choose not to be offended.
I choose not to be offended. We talked about, I think it was the last episode, that even with alpha and beta males, even if somebody walked up to me and was like, you're just a big fucking beta male. You know what?
That's fine.
That's fine. No, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not offended that you'd even say that to me because I choose to not be offended.
Right. But the one thing I want to touch on with this is you hear a lot about, especially when it comes to the feminist movement and things like that. A feminist will say or stand for something, and they will take on the load, say you, of the entire gender of women, right? Like all of their struggles are their struggle.
Mm-hmm.
Do you realize the audacity of that? Just like for you to sit there and say that you understand and bear the load of of half the population's fucking problems, that you are out of your goddamn mind.
Yeah, there's no way you can actually, literally identify with everybody's problems.
Right.
Because I guarantee other people's problems, you don't even agree with them.
Right. So I think this one kind of goes both ways. It's like, is it politically incorrect? Yeah. Who gives a fuck? I don't.
Nope.
Next. We've talked about this one before. This is the last one.
Okay.
Using social media to flame or shame. And we've talked about the keyboard warriors before and the basement-dwelling neckbearders. and politically incorrect? I mean, you're being a big pussy by hiding behind the keyboard. But, like, once again, I don't give a fuck what you say. Like,
no, I don't care what you say. You're not going to offend me. You can't sit here and try to even tear me down and think. When you try to do that, I just think of how terrible of a life you must feel that you can't even engage another human being in a civilized manner, let alone from not being behind a keyboard to do it.
Right. But I think it comes down to, like, and I don't know, are we playing into their hand by just sitting here saying we don't care, but there are people out there that do? We can't fix them. The people that do care, we can't. Like, it's... So what do we do, man? We just keep living our fucking lives. Who cares, right?
Yeah. Let the day roll on.
Yeah, let the day roll on, man.
Hey, but if you want to be triggered a little more about things that are just politically incorrect, the next one is another good one. You ready for it?
Uh-huh.
The headline is going to be, is a gender-neutral Santa coming to town?
Okay.
So, like we said about Black Panther. Now, here, I'm going to give you a trigger warning. If for some reason you are listening to our podcast near your children, remove your children from the area or remove yourself from the area of your children. Because what I'm about to say will crush their dreams.
Oh. So let's just take a moment.
Yeah, I'll give you a minute. I'll read it a little bit before I discuss it, all right? And it says, for centuries, Santa Claus has traditionally been a jolly, white-bearded man in a red suit who's craving milk and cookies. Mm-hmm. However, a new survey from Graphic Springs, a logo creation company, has sparked a new debate on whether Santa should be a man, a woman, or gender neutral. The company got about 400 people from America and the UK and ways they can modernize Old Saint Nick. They used the top suggestions to survey 4,000 people on how they would envision a 2018 version of Saint Nick. Let's see. The results showed that roughly 19% of U.S. people believe Santa should be identified as neither male nor female. More than 10% said Santa should identify as a woman, which once again leaves 70% to say, shut the fuck up, let him just be a dude.
Here, was the other 70% polled?
Oh, yeah, but I mean, they're just showing that 20% say he should be non-gender and 10% said his gender should change to being a woman, which leaves the leftover of saying he should just be a dude.
My fucking head, man. It hurt. I have a headache. So here's my first question is, you see these polls all the fucking time, but man, I've never once in my life met a pollster of any kind.
Nobody's ever asked me shit.
Right? So who are they asking?
I don't know.
And
I don't know how you get on this list, because I want them to hear my opinions.
20% of people think that Santa shouldn't have
no gender. No gender.
Bullshit.
No gender. Here's my once again. Here's my problem with it. It's the same problem that I have with all these people bitching about Black Panther. And I'm going to kind of whisper this because my kids might be, pretty damn close to us.
Yeah.
Santa's not real. It's a fictional person.
It's the same thing we already talked about.
It's a fictional. Why do we fucking care? But if you're not already pissed off, let me piss you off some more.
Okay.
Ready?
22%.
22%. think that he needs to. Oh no, that's the sleigh. 22% said his sleigh should be exchanged for a flying car, but 18% said that his iconic red and white suit should be replaced with skinny jeans.
Oh, boy.
Santa's too fat for some fucking skinny jeans.
I was about to say, if they pulled me on this, I'd say Santa needs to hit the gym.
Hell yeah, he's a little chubby tubby, man.
But I mean, if you visited every house in the world and just ate cookies the whole time,
dude, I'm trying to convince my kids this year that for Christmas we shouldn't leave milk and cookies, that we should leave bacon and beer.
Ooh, that's good. I like it.
I'm telling you, Santa's gonna come out here and be like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
Thank God, man.
I had enough
cookies.
cookies.
You know that feeling you get when you eat too much like sugary sweets and you're just like drained and tired?
You feel sick?
Hell yeah. And then the pleasure of drinking a beer after a hard day's work.
Yeah.
Man, I might just put a couple cold ones out there that aren't even open that he can just throw in the sleigh for when he gets done.
Yep. He's on his last leg of the route. Yeah.
Flying back to the pole, gets a little flying while intoxicated.
I think it's completely ridiculous, that poll. Wherever that came from, whoever made those statistics maybe polled. They had to have polled like 100 people, and then
it was 400 people. But you know, you could that's a small poll.
I mean, you go to fucking
but,
Portland,
and ask 400 people. You're gonna get some fucking retarded answers.
Yeah, I was like, where's this poll happening?
It's like, have you ever watched Family Feud?
Yeah,
you got to ask like, who's saying some of these? I know you're asking 100 people, but who's saying some of these dumbass answers?
Yeah. But I got one more thing I want to bring up before we close this up.
All right.
And it is next episode we're going to do like a year in review of 2018. We're going to talk about all the big stuff that happened in 2018. But this already is my number one spot for the most beautiful event of 2018.
Okay.
And it was by PETA.
The people eating tasty animals?
Pretty much. So PETA came out and said to stop using anti-animal language. Yeah. So instead of using the term kill two birds with one stone.
I know, I've heard it.
You should say feed two birds with one scone. Right? And there's a whole bunch of other things like be the guinea pig, no, be the test tube. Beat a dead horse, feed a fed horse. Right? It's like,
why would you feed a fed horse? He's already been fed.
But here's what makes this so beautiful, right? It's not what PETA posted. It's what happened after they posted it.
Oh,
because
roasted in all their glory.
All of the vegans, vegetarians, and meat eaters came together for the first time ever and told PETA to shut the fuck up. And
congratulations.
I think it is the most beautiful thing of the year.
Yeah. Well, you know where the PETA headquarters are.
Where?
In Virginia Beach, Virginia. It's either Virginia Beach, Virginia, or Norfolk, Virginia.
Okay.
And I lived there for a few years. Quite a few years, actually.
Yeah.
And the best part of it is their headquarters is like right on this river. And every year, let me back up a second. Across from the river is either some kind of public property or it's a radio station.
Okay.
Right? But there is a radio station in Virginia Beach that every year hosts on the other side of their property, on the other side of the river, a fishing tournament right in front of their building.
That's wonderful.
Just to spite them.
Yeah.
It's great.
I think it's just great how often PETA takes this kind of stuff so serious and just gets told to shut the fuck up.
Nobody other than PETA takes PETA seriously.
Right.
Nobody does.
Right. Well, there's probably some tree huggers, women with armpit hair out there that take them pretty seriously.
Very few. But other than, and they'll probably want to go work for PETA, which would just reinforce that only PETA likes PETA.
Right.
As we head out, don't forget to follow us on Facebook at the Official Man Cave Podcast, over on Twitter at the Man Cave 14, on Instagram at the Man Cave Podcast. You can also catch us over on YouTube. But for the full, no safe space, no bullshit experience, and the ability to win prizes, you got to check us out over on Patreon. For only $1 up until the end of the year, you're going to get a few things, right? You're going to get entered in to win that Beer of the Month Club, and that's valued at $120. It's about a handful of beers every month for 3 months.
12 beers a month, 3 months.
Exclusive beers too.
You'll never find them anywhere else.
Yeah, maybe Terry will tell you he hopes you don't get this Lost Abbey Dead Man's Game in there, But yeah, $120 a month. You're gonna get it for only $1. You get you're gonna get that man card that you can open the rest of these beers with for the rest of your eternal life.
Unless you do something that gets your man card revoked. We're watching.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Your Alexa in your house. We're listening. We're tapped in.
We're tapped in.
Yeah. And if you do something unmanly, we're taking your fucking man card.
Oh yeah. And for only $5 a month, you can not only get entered in to win the prizes, you get exclusive access to special podcast episodes, exclusive access to tell you what you want us to talk about and give us feedback on topics from every podcast and shit. You get on the fucking show.
Yeah.
All right, but hey, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay with us. We'll see you next time here in the Man Cave.
I told you to stop calling it the fucking man cave.
Don't let the door hit you on the way out. Any real man would follow us on Patreon for exclusive content and prizes at patreon.com/The Man Cave Podcast. The Man Cave. No safe spaces, no bullshit.